Within my secondary research, I analysed the media packages from The Resident, Insidious, and Saw 6. My trailer conforms to Todorov narrative theory by having an equilibrium, disruption, recognition, and attempt to repair. I haven't, however, shown the new equilibrium, as this convention hasn't been done in any other trailer that I have analysed, as it gives away the ending. I have used the conventions that I saw in the Resident trailer by starting with an establishing shot of the main location that the film is set. From my online polls, my target audience wanted a bird's eye view shot of the location. This was not accessible, so I used a pan shot similar to the one on the Insidious trailer. In the Saw 6 trailer, there was a high-angled shot of a victim crawling through a cage. This shows the inferiority of the victim and the power that the villain has over them. I have used this convention within my trailer during the montage edit, where there is a high-angled shot of a victim lying dead on the floor, and again at the end of the montage when the protagonist is trying to get away from the killer. The shot is very effective as it cuts after moving from a high angle to a close-up from the killer's perspective, which leaves the audience wanting to know the outcome. When analysing the trailers, I saw that there was a lot of enigma created that left the audience wondering who's that or what they are doing. For example, in the Insidious trailer, the woman opens a box and screams. In the Resident trailer, there is an unknown figure walking past the victim at the end, but the audience is left questioning who it is. In the trailer that I created, I made sure that I used Barth's Enigma code to draw the audience in and leave them in anticipation. For example, when the unknown figure walks past the bed, and when the victim shouts, "Get away from me," while scurrying backwards. I have also followed the cause and effect convention. In the Resident trailer, one cause is that she knows she is being followed, and the effect is that she places CCTV in her house. One cause in my trailer is the news reporter saying that another person has been murdered, and the effect is that Stephen becomes scared and says, "What? No." My media package is within the horror genre and the subcategory slasher. In terms of mise-en-scène, in the Saw 6 trailer, there is a chainsaw as well as a gun. I have conformed to the slasher genre by using the iconographic knife that is used as a murder weapon. In all three trailers, the lighting is very dark to give the suspense of danger and mystery. I made sure that I shot the majority of my trailer at night and used low-key lighting to connote a binary opposite upon the victim's face. This means that he may have a dangerous side to him, which makes the audience want to watch the film to see if he does. All three trailers have been set within the same location. Saw 6's location is unknown. The Residence is set within the victim's apartment, which is a realistic location for a horror film. Insidious is set within the villain's house. I've conformed to this by the majority of my film being set within the house that is seen in the establishing shot. The costumes that the villains wear throughout the trailers that I analysed are their ordinary clothes. This connotes realism as it shows that it can happen to anyone. This implies that anyone can be a victim and strongly links to teenagers watch horror films to suspend their disbelief. I followed conventions and made my victim wear ordinary clothes in the trailer. Saw 6 is the slasher of the three films, and there is a small snippet of the killer wearing a mask. I have conformed to this convention by my killer wearing a mask. This keeps the mystery of the characters. I've changed the time at which my killer has been shown by placing the shot at the end of the trailer as a final scare. I noticed that Insidious had a final scare at the end of their trailer, so this is why I chose to place my killer there. The target audience of my trailer is teenagers to young adults. This is the same age rating as the three analysed trailers. The certification of The Resident and Saw 6 is rated R, and Insidious is rated PG-13. I chose rated R as my certification as there is blood and gore within the film. Saw 6 has these characteristics, so I selected the same age rating. In the Resident trailer, you see a lot of the villain chasing the victim down, with a two-shot showing them both in the frame. I have challenged this by leaning towards the handheld approach, whereby the camera shots in the first-person perspective as the killer. The stereotypical victim in horror films is a white American woman, and this is seen in the Resident and Saw 6 trailers. I have gone against this convention and created a counter-type by having an Asian male as the main character and victim. I have used a male victim as I didn't have access to the stereotypical white American female. Within all three trailers that I've analysed, I saw that they all had a montage edit near the end. I have used this convention within my trailer because it draws the audience in, making them want to see what happens next within each shot. A lot of enigma is created for the audience, which leaves them in anticipation. In the Resident trailer, they have used a sound effect in the form of a text message on the protagonist's phone. I have used this convention within my trailer when my victim receives a phone call from an unknown person. This makes the film more realistic, as the audience may have been in the same situation themselves. The Resident trailer has also used non-diegetic narration, which helps to deliver the narrative of the film to the audience. I have used this convention by also having narration over the top of the equilibrium so the audience understands part of the plot. During the montage edit of the Insidious trailer, there was a non-diegetic soundtrack in the background which rapidly increased. I conformed to this convention by using a soundtrack which helped to create a tense atmosphere. In all three trailers that I analysed, dialogue was also used.
Got a rental here?
You're looking at it.
Wait, what's the catch?
I followed this convention by using dialogue which helped to deliver the narrative to the audience, as well as create an enigma, for example when the victim was on the phone.
You're next.
Who is this?
The institutions that I've used within my media product are Twisted Pictures and Lionsgate. I recognise that Saw 6 had these institutions, so I have conformed to their convention by using the same, as both are genres of slashers. When I textual analysed the Insidious trailer, I noticed that they had an intertitle that said "From the makers of Paranormal Activity" and Saw. I have developed this convention by creating a similar caption which says "From the makers of Paranormal Activity" and Scream 4. On the Saw 6 trailer, there is a shot of the TV showing a first-person perspective looking at what seems to be the victim in an unknown location. I have conformed to this by having my victim watching the news to find out a killer is on the loose. However, I have developed this by filming it from an over-the-shoulder perspective. On my horror poster, I have followed the conventions of the Insidious poster by having the main character in front of a scary isolated house and writing the film title 90 degrees anti-clockwise. On the Insidious poster, the villain is the main focus, and on the Resident poster there is the stereotypical white American female as the vulnerable victim, and a man as the villain. My poster has challenged the stereotype and created a countertype by having an Asian boy as the victim. The bruising that has been placed upon his face creates an enigma for the audience, as they are left wondering how he got in that state. The low-key lighting has also been used on the victim, as in the film he kills the villain in self-defense, so it shows that he has a dangerous and mysterious side to him. I saw that the Resident and Insidious both had a building block at the bottom of their poster. I've conformed to this layout by placing my building block there. This is so the audience are aware of what it is. The Insidious poster's narrative is showing that the killer is haunted, from the tagline, "It's not the house that's haunted." This is re-emphasised by Insidious written in the boy's eye. Within the skyline of the Resident poster are names of the famous actors that feature within the film. I have used this layout convention and written the names of the people who feature in my film. I have not used famous actors, as I didn't think this was conventional within slasher films. Using non-famous actors suspends teenagers' disbelief, as they think that it could happen to them. The narrative of my poster comes across as the boy is the victim, as he is beaten up, and his life may be at risk by the tagline, "Young life doesn't last." The house behind the victim is a realistic setting. It informs the audience that it is the main location within the film, and it is something they should look out for. The tagline "Young life doesn't last" creates enigma for the audience, as they are left wondering if his life is in danger. This persuades the reader to watch the film. The audience on all three posters that I have analysed are targeted at teenagers and young adults. My poster is also targeting this market, as I've used a teenager as the main character, and the font is in sans serif, which appeals to this demographic. My website has followed conventions of the Insidious and Saw 6 websites. I have used a similar grey banner at the bottom of the page, similar to Insidious's, which I have placed ticket information as well as social networking links within. I know this appeals to my target audience, as that is what was said during the questionnaire. On the Resident and Saw 6 website, the menu bar was placed at the top of the page. I found out from my questionnaire that my audience also wanted it placed here, so I decided to follow the convention and place it at the top. I have conformed to the horror genre by using the three iconographic colours that are red, black and white on both my website and poster. These are the conventional colours found within the horror genre. On my website I have used similar images that have been seen on the poster. I found out from my online polls that my target audience wanted this, and it makes people aware that they are viewing content related to the same film. I saw that this was also done on the Resident poster and website. I chose to embed my trailer into the main page of the website. This is so the audience can view the trailer without switching websites. I have used this convention from the Resident website. I have developed Saw 6's convention, as they had the trailer on the page before entering the website, and I have challenged Insidious's, as they didn't have a trailer embedded. My website appeals to teenagers to young adults, as I have used an image of the victim that is also within this age group. I have also used sans serif font to grab the attention of my target audience, as this typography appeals to a modern audience, so that is why I used it.